check. Audio. All right. So we've got a short on right now, but it's small. Let me just make sure everything's working. Okay. So, yeah, I have overarching long bias, but I thought I'd get long or get short into the long. I'm not really sure if this is going to be the long, but it seems like, well, YM has these support resistance liquidity high lows, but we already did make SMT, and at the same time, all of these guys have come down and tapped into like the respective order blocks. Um, though the SMT is with this low here. Yeah, the SMT is with this low. And at the same time, this is the low that we also made SMT with NASDAQ. But either way, we came down inside a PD array, inside tapping like discount order block. Same thing with Russell, SMT with Russell, really very clear. But at the same time, then now we have Russell SMT with the London high being taken, and the Dow, and then at the same time as that, we've got NASDAQ delivering above the lunch high, and yes, failing to do so. So I'm thinking it's a short into the long, and easy draw on liquidity is just these smooth lows. But I'm really just watching the Asia low. Um, and it makes sense for Russell to come down too. Alright, and then my trade was kind of based on the 830, so I'm gonna. Is there S&P? Kind of here. Yeah, the way we're respecting these order blocks, I'm gonna move my stop loss. Especially since, um, yeah, that's good. But yeah, so now we're just seeing kind of where YM is gonna go. I'm kind of like 50-50, like it might just soup out these lows. Maybe I need to zoom out. But at the same time, there was this 4 hour, and it did tap into this, um, and it completely respected this. So, yeah, there's a 4 hour here that it respected the CE, so I'm thinking it may just come down wick CE of this wick or something, or maybe on the 1 hour. It's kind of already done that. So yeah, just the Asia low. Once that gets taken out on YM, I'll probably just exit for a quick little profit. But Nasdaq's looking really weak, so that might give us a better profit. Let's see. Other than that, it's just waiting for the open. We're out of my time zone. Well, in a few more minutes we'll be out, and that, yeah. And there's no key levels that we're hitting right now. If this 15-minute closes here the way it is, I may move my stop even more, since that's kind of like a propulsion block protecting me. And there's no reason to risk more just because of that. So yeah, hopefully this closes really weak right here in the next 15 seconds. Want this to close. Preferably lower, but it's good enough here. Alright. Moving my stop here. Perfect. Now we're basically risk-free. Almost. And now my mouth is dry. So let's get some water. Yeah, I'm just gonna let this play out for a bit till the open. go into my little storage crabs. I've been getting excited about that now. I go there and like try to get 5 every time. Well, that's what I'm saying. If I can do 5 reps there, that's good. I don't think I need a goal. Oh, I think I'm just gonna set my own automatically. But what? Well, I was thinking we could start traveling next month. We have a budget of $1,000. Like if we go do something, like even locally, like oh, we're going to city, like that's gonna count towards our budget. And as long as we just stay below 1,000 a month, so we can just keep track. Like on the whiteboard, I'll have the balcony, write it down for August. And we can keep a little track of like what trips we want to do. I think our goal should just be having fun. You already want to go to the gym. I feel like you already want to do all that. I think our goal is to just focus on fun. Yeah, looks like it's just gonna rebalance. There's no news, so I think the catalyst is just gonna be the open, and then if there's like anything, you know, with Trump or whatever. But I'm gonna mute real quick, let it play. Check, check, check. I actually just moved my stop because I realized they might use the 830 level high for another like manipulation. So, um, whether that happens at the open or I may actually just need to move my stop at the actual legit high. So let's see if EX actually tapped into this order block. Low at 86.75. High. Yeah, good. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep it here. This has already all been rebalanced, so if it's gonna come up here, I'm done with the idea. And yeah, there's like the move here, so we'll just see how that plays out. So there's several kilns, by the way. There's like one in Lehigh, there's one in Murray or something. And they have them like in other states. That's kind of cool. do you want? Cold, hot? What flavor? Caramel? Should do some creaking. Do you want regular milk or almond milk or anything? Oat milk? What? Perfume wall? The wall? Looks like the wall. Why? Alright, it looks like we may just have come below the true day open and then now we're sitting higher, so but just seems like we do want to come did Nasdaq tapped into the order block. Yeah, like we could just be going up now. So yeah, looking for a big range move like this may not actually happen today, but would have been nice.
Order cancelled.
Open is in 23 minutes. Oh, it took your turn. Well, everybody got to move above the 830, so it's not looking good. But Nasdaq, yeah, actually Nasdaq there's a slight difference here. So maybe still good play. But yeah, one thing to note is my sleep wasn't the greatest last night, so today's not a day where I want to just take a bunch of trades and take big ones. It's just a low probability day for me. So just kind of getting back into it after a few days off again. All right, well, we're getting close to the open now, so things may start speeding up. We've got relative equal highs here on NASDAQ. Um, so that may be like maybe the level to, if there's another, if the short's gonna work, maybe that. But it seems like the short would be on the Dow if there is one. Otherwise, maybe that was along with the true day open S&T there, and we've already tapped into the order block. We just never did on Russell really. Nope. Tapped, I guess, the wick, but there's relative equal lows, so that's the idea behind this. Just thinking we'd get like a sweep of those. And we've got like S&T here on the Dow on regular index charts. And this is just a nice gap up with the order block. So yeah, same thing happening there. The gap is right below the low there. So yeah, just below the Asia, CE of Asia. The flows were bearish yesterday. So it would, if it's gonna be bullish, it would make sense for it to open lower and then go high. Here. See, goes to work. Got your sandwich. Alright. Yeah, I should never move my stop to that high because I didn't take note of what was going on Nasdaq. Like these highs are all kind of equal, and it's kind of lined up with that. PD array versus ES had it clearly swept. So hopefully this is the rotation lower if it is, and then if not, no worries. Happy to take the loss. If I take a loss, then yeah, I'll still look for a possible long at these levels, but um, if the short's not going to play out, then it's probably just going to go up, so it's going to have to miss out. Yeah, I really like the gaps on these charts here. I'm thinking that that's the play. There's a small short into the gaps. Dow Jones has relative equal lows at the lows, so maybe we're going to come all the way down. That'd be interesting. But I don't want to get stuck watching this and overthinking it, so I'm just going to distract myself. So yeah, the only news this week is on Wednesday. Oh no, Thursday has. Okay, but yeah, just not a big week. So being on the smaller time frame makes sense for the next few days. Maybe tomorrow. Um, yeah, the the minutes coming out usually chops before that. Usually it's like an AM trade and then it like stalls out as we get close to that. All right, open in just a few more minutes, and we'll get an answer here. It's gonna deliver lower before higher, or whatever, dude. All right, open is in a minute now, finally. So my guess is we just get like a quick move in one direction, just 'cause it's been consolidating into the open. All right, here we go. Dow Jones moving up while these guys are moving lower. Could be the move to rebalance that. I've got my alerts set on some of the levels I'm watching. Oh, this doesn't load. And you just have to be cautious. There could just be SMT at the open, which there already is. Yes, took out the kind of the 830 low, but at the same time we did get that manipulation of bounce. And I think we just go lower. I think it may exit. If YM comes below the Asia low, but yeah, so far these guys are kind of weaker. All right, SPY bearish so far, but need more intel. I'm liking this. I think I am gonna move my stop now though. Nasdaq's fairly accumulated that, and if we're gonna come up, we've already come up here and taken that high out, so maybe worth moving. Let's just double check. Russell heading higher. Maybe this is the short entry on YM. I'm gonna split up these orders.
Order working. Order working. Order cancelled. Order working.
Let a runner go.
Order working.
I think that's 4. Yeah. I'm just thinking YM could come all the way down to the low, so I'm gonna let my trade kind of play out like that, giving it the room for that. But yeah, I really want to see this displace below this low. Got a really nice SMT, and it's just a matter of where is YM gonna go if this is a move, which I think it is. Seems like it'd want to at least, I don't know. Asia is just the only logical, easy liquidity. Alright, we're about to hit that low. Let's look at Dow Jones. QQ's is already in the gap, but flows are pretty bearish. Equal lows there, manufactured there. So I'm thinking if we can hold here, we may actually reverse there. Q's, calls, and puts being sold. Pretty bearish SPY. Alright, we didn't really manufacture that low. Now we're just heading below it.
Order filled. Order
Just
cancelled.
gonna take one off there now, since we've taken out that low. Anything else?
Order cancelled. Order working. Order working. Order working.
Alright, kind of just holding runners now. Seems like we're bouncing a bit earlier than I thought, but we could just be still heading lower, which, yeah. But now, so far, it's like, okay, cool, I've made enough for my stop, you know. So we're basically break even. which is nice. And now I can hold this. I'm still thinking that Russell would want these equal lows, but so far it's holding. And Russell had some bullish flow yesterday. Alright, now it's looking bearish for Russell. Dow Jones. Still looking bearish. Tide is mixed. It's kind of just did have some nice buying in cues here. Alright. Yeah, SPY came into the gap. Russell did not. I'm happy to have my stop there. SPY is still bearish. Calls are being sold. I really like that on Tide, but the volume is not matching. So yeah, Dow Jones had the S&T. Let's see if I got this. Yeah, Dow Jones had the S&T. We just made more with Russell there at the high. So yeah, I think we may come down for that low and down maybe. How weak it is. And that makes sense on the both futures and the regular index chart. And NASDAQ really accumulated that fair value gap. So manufacturing equal lows here. So thinking at least another leg lower, which would be uh, and I'm gonna be looking for the key level on Dow. We did take out Asia, so that's one thing. If ES and NASDAQ come down and take out Asia and Dow is strong, that'll be a good reason to start to get out. So that's what I'm thinking. Constantly explaining myself. Wow, NASDAQ looking weak. NASDAQ at the low, took out the low. Maybe that's the change in character. We're still kind of right at the open. So I'm just gonna keep holding this. Well, I like the way Nasdaq looks, but the way it's failing to shift here on ES isn't good to me. So Nasdaq's looking good though to keep going lower. It's being really weak. Russell breaking out. And yeah, we did have that. We do have everything, you'd need for this to go. So it's just like, there's equal lows. You know, I just thought. Well, you know what? Maybe Russell needs lunch high. The last lunch. But I'd have it to be stopped out. It's just, I mean, it's not an amazing trade. Just a small risk. Small risk, lower probability day for me. Alright. I don't like how Nasdaq's coming back up now, so it's probably game over for this trade. Looks like that was the reversal, my profit. Gosh, this song sucks. Man, we could still come lower, but it is not looking good. That is looking like a reversal. This is the only inefficiency here, so hopefully that's what holds. And so far it is. Since it's repainting everything, it makes me think that if it does go lower, when we come high, if we go back up, it's gonna like just tear through everything. Jagged, jagged highs. Or smooth, I don't know, whatever you want to put it. Dang, Nasdaq's really staying low. Well, Russell's now come up into the lunch high, whereas the Dow has not. But we don't know how far Russell's going to go, especially since this isn't looking good for me. So, all right, looks like it's game over. This is the absolute last point of possibility. We do have some YM, SMT there, but it ain't clean, man. probably going to be done after this. Dang, yeah, Nasdaq made a nice possible pull, but that breadth move is killing me, man. I should have actually thought of doing that because of the possibility of Russell still just moving. I just thought Russell would be the one to manipulate lower since it had those equal lows. But that's fine. Who knows what if I had slept a lot better if what I would have thought. So alright. Goodbye. This looks like it's gonna kill it. Yeah, Dow's moving higher.
Stop filled. Order cancelled.
Alright. Scratch day. Not too bad. Perfect. All the orders have been filled. Yeah, so this may still come lower, but that is just not, that is just kind of not my very small range. And yes, there was that setup on Russell. So yeah, that was the long there on Russell. It was just paying attention to, we already had SMT, we had already, we just, we just didn't tap this order block, which made me think it would come on. Yeah, I just chose the wrong one to short. If I had shorted NASDAQ, I mean, that would have been a lot cleaner. Would have been short here, stop above the high, and I would gladly still be holding it with my stop above there. And then now I'd have a very clear take profit opportunity below these lows. Technically, there still is a short setup here on YM. But just gonna have to miss it today if it does go lower. It does. I'm too tired. But this Russell trade may still play. Because now we've got another reason to come lower. Yeah, I'm just gonna call it here. I think, still think Nasdaq. I think I was still right. Um, and things are just kind of tricky because of the way where we are and me not being sure about that low. Well, obviously now it's playing out. So yeah, another SMT there. It just seems like that would be interesting. If Russell comes down below these lows without widening, that would be interesting. So I'm gonna set an alert there. I might actually leave the stream running because in case this goes off in the next little bit. But I'm almost thinking that Nasdaq's just gonna manipulate lower and we're just gonna go back up because it's the same thing on everything. Like Yeah, it's just such a crappy range, though. Very choppy. Alright. Well, it's 45 minutes till the next maybe trade, so I'm just way too tired for this. So I'm just gonna take a little rest, and I might just go get some work done on some reviewing and stuff of this. So yeah, that's it for today. I mean, flows do look bearish, but the calls, this is all the calls here, so it's kind of mixed. And same thing here, just a choppy looking day. But yeah, alright, adios.